Okay, guys, so now we've got a sky replacement in place. We're going to add a cinematic title to this. So I'm going to click on my mountain shot, and I need the tracker panel, which I don't see here. So I'm going to go up to Window, and I'm going to select Tracker. And it's appeared at the bottom for me. I'm going to put that up there. So in After Effects, sometimes we need to motion track things so we can then apply that motion to maybe like a text or an object that we want to insert into our scene. So I'm going to click here on Track Camera, and this is going to take a little minute. It adds this 3D camera tracker effect, and what it's doing is it's automatically tracking the movement of the camera in my scene. Okay, now it's solved our camera and we have all these little tracking dots. So what I want to do is essentially, I want to have a bit of text that's going to come up from behind these mountains. So I'm going to try and find a selection of track points that are as close to the area where I want my text to stick as possible. I want to get something that's flat. So this little thing in the middle is our target. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to create text and camera. And you can't actually see it because it's a little bit too small. So if I click on the text that I've created and I hit S for scale, I'm just going to make that a lot bigger. If I hold down Shift, I can scrub a lot faster. There we go. And then I can grab this little widget here and I can drag it kind of upright. And if I now press play, you'll see that text is going to stick kind of in the mountains. Now that effect actually looks quite cool with the silhouette, but I want it to kind of appear from behind the mountains. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just move it along just a little. So it's like in the center of my screen. And then I'm going to grab the layer and I'm going to put it between the mountains and the sky. So now if I zoom in, you can see the text is now behind the sky. I'm going to put it back to the beginning of my composition. And let me show you how to do a basic animated keyframe. So I'm going to hit P on my keyboard with my text layer selected. And that's going to bring up my position properties. This is a little stopwatch. This is how I start my animations. So I'm going to click on the stopwatch, making sure my timeline indicator is at the very beginning. And it's dropped this little diamond. That's called a keyframe. I'm going to grab the little green handle on my widget. I'm going to push it downwards. So my text is hidden beneath the mountain layer. I'm going to move forward in time. And I'm going to drag it up. And choose where you want its final position to be. I kind of still want it close to the mountain. I think that looks nice. And then let's play through to see how that looks. So there's our title reveal. And to make it look a little nicer, I'm going to select both my keyframes. I'm going to hit F9 on my keyboard. And what that's going to do is ease it in and ease it out. So it means it'll start slowly and end slowly and have a smooth animation in between. Now, text isn't the best title for a film. So I'm going to click on my text tool and I'm going to click here on my text. And I'm going to call this Shiver. What I'm going to do is make this look a little bit more cinematic. On my text layer, I am going to go down here where it says geometry options and it's grayed out right now. It says change render. So I'm going to click on this and it's going to bring me up this little dialog box and I'm going to change my render to the advanced 3D render. And there's a whole big list of things that we now can do and that we now can't do. We're going to hit OK. And we're going to go to geometry options and where it says extrusion depth, I'm going to increase that to 5. And what you can see is now my text now has depth. So now it looks like it's actually sort of like a 3D piece of text. And you can add a bevel on there, which is like how the outside edges of my text look. So you can sort of flick through to see what you like. And then this controls how much of a bevel you have. So I usually go for something very subtle, to be honest. on text animations, just enough to make it stand out. And then we can also go to our material options here, and we can make our text look a little bit more kind of metallic. So if I actually go for values of specular intensity of 80 and shininess of 80, and then for my metal, I'll probably take that back to about 80 as well. Okay, so there we go. We have our nice little animated title coming in. One last thing I'd like to do, pop back to our project, and there's this little atmosphere that I think will look quite nice. Pop it underneath the color grade. And what we need to do is, you can see it's got a black background, so we need to use a blending mode. So your blending modes are here. If you don't see them, click on this toggle switches in modes. And we want to change this to add. And then we want to hit T to bring up the opacity values. This is how visible it is. I'm going to bring it down a bit. We just wanted to add a little bit of atmosphere. And then in my color grade, I'm going to go to Effect Controls, pour that down again. And for the overall kind of color grade, I want to increase the saturation a bit to bring everything out a little bit more. And I actually want to go into the basic correction, turn down the exposure a bit because it got a bit bright when I added in the add for the fog. Okay, there you go. Now you have your own little cinematic title sequence.